Dear viewers, welcome to another episode of Mediation Today. My name is Vesna Cvjetićanin, and my guest in today's episode is Mr. NIkola Tomić. Nikola, hello.
Hello, Vesna. How are you?
I'm well. Welcome to my show.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I was really looking forward to it.
Thank you so much for making yourself available. I'm going to read a bit about yourself, and then we will start our chat. Yeah?
Sure.
Good. NIkola Tomić is a mediator and negotiation advisor specializing in complex commercial, infrastructure, and cross-border dispute environments, with a focus on escalation management and negotiation breakdown in multi-party contexts. He works across mediation, negotiation support, and dispute systems design, particularly in infrastructure and energy-related environments across the Balkans and the wider Central and Eastern Europe region. He is based in Serbia and works regionally and internationally on complex commercial dispute and negotiation processes. Nikola, I know there is so much more to say about you, and I know that your practice and your experience spans many different areas and wider than what I just said. But tell us a little bit about yourself and about your professional background.
Okay. Well, I have a law degree, a master's in law, and I'm a mediator for 7 years. I'm 8 now, yeah. And I passed the bar exam. I've been in-house counsel for over 10 years, and my mediation career was overlapping for a bigger part of it. It's just, I don't know, I've been a legal practitioner, but mediation is where I feel at home. Conflict management is where I feel at home. Negotiations is where I feel at home. It's a build-up from my formal education to actually doing something that I enjoy and helping people in the process.
You work where law, contracts, and operational reality meet. When a massive project starts to fail, which of those three usually breaks down first?
Oh, operational reality, without a doubt. There's a saying that's been cited many times, and it comes from military doctrine, but it's applicable in a philosophical sense to everything. Every plan fails when it comes to contact with reality. So you can write up a perfect contract. The law can be beautiful. Everything can be perfect. But as soon as you start meeting reality, it's not done, but your contract seems more like goals.
And what do you do then?
Well, communicate as much as possible. Avoid scoring points, avoid scoring positions. Just talk to each other, find solutions. If you want to work on an infrastructure project that spans for 1, 2, or 5 years, depending on the scale, you need to talk to each other. You need to talk to everybody. There's a lot of stakeholders there involved. I usually set them in 3 tiers. There's the insurance, investor, lender, contractor tier, and perhaps government. That's tier 1. Tier 2 is contractor, subcontractor, supplier, and everything in between. And the third part is stakeholders, external stakeholders. That's actual people on the ground. That's various governmental agencies who have some sort of duty to follow the project. And they are all outside. So you have to talk to each other and find ways to move on. You want the project to be finished? Yes. So
when did you move from those everyday disputes that most mediators start with, into these multi-party, more commercial type disputes?
Well, one of my first mediation was a multi-party labor dispute. And I'm sitting with the company and the opposing counsel and like 30 people from the other side. And I'm trying to get the conversation going. They're all there, but it's impossible to manage with them all being there, because there is one who has 2 years to retirement, and the reason for his dispute is different from the guy who's my age. He has a young wife, and there are other interests for them, and there are, I don't know, young ones, and I'm not trying to belittle anybody, but they are just beginning their career, and somebody older than them told them that something was not right, and they are complaining. And in order to manage all those expectations, you need to have structure, you need to plan, you need to communicate, you need to meet up with as much as people as possible to find where they all overlap.
And do those a lot of that communication happen somehow in the background? And I think that many people don't actually realize how much background work happens in situations like that, and even in simple mediations.
Yeah, you need to create trust. So all of those people were angry, and that's usually the case when you have natural persons involved in the conflict, whatever the conflict it may be. Later, when I was doing infrastructure, it was the same. You came through my field, you came through my forest, you destroyed my forest. My grandfather did that. I worked here for my entire career. I wanted to give everything to this man, and he cheated and stuff like that. It's very high emotions for them. And they are angry, they are hurt, they need space so that they can feel safe. They need to feel valued, seen, trust. They need to trust in you. So you have to talk, and you have to talk for as long as it takes. And on the other side, when you're discussing decision makers, they just want clip notes. So it's different. So you talk to 30 people in a multi-party dispute, and then you go to the decision maker on the other side, and you have to tell him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's it. That's the position, and that's where they want to go, and what would be your take? And he wants to make a decision quickly. He doesn't have the time to discuss everything at length. So
do you play a role in that? Because we as mediators are supposed to, or supposedly, or must be independent and neutral. How do you balance that?
Well, I never make the decision for anybody. I just start asking questions, and I ask questions until I can see the click. When you see the click,
the aha moment.
Yeah, and then they know what they want to do. They the only advice I give to my parties is again through questions. But do you know what do you feel will happen if we get out of the room today, and what's going to happen? Are you going to court? For how long? Do you have the skills?
How much will it cost?
How much will it cost? Do you know any good lawyers? I mean, you just do a reality check with them, and then ask them, if you sit here today and start talking, we'll find a way, and you'll go home. It might not be everything that you ever wanted, but it's your justice.
Do you, Nikola, I mean, when I say you, it's a plural you, in Serbia, do you, in practice of mediation, have the best possible option and worst possible option. We have it in Australia. We now that you started talking about a reality check and reality test, do you do that? Okay, so if you don't do anything that we are discussing today at the table, what's your worst option that you may face, or what's your best option that you would accept?
Well, I usually go there when mediation is starting to break down, when discussion is starting to break down, negotiation, whatever. What's your best option if we do not resolve this today? And what's your worst option? And that's a reality check question. I usually tend to go in and be open. I just want to know what's going on and how can we make this work. The entire purpose of mediation and negotiations is to create a bridge, to bring people together. So if you go into a room and start talking to somebody, you're building your part. They need to build their part. It's the same in every process. So let's find a way to create this bridge so it can stick, and it will work, and it can work for a longer period of time. When we are discussing Batna and Batna here, it's usually I don't know. It's usually the I don't know answer. I don't know. I'll talk to my lawyer and okay, sure, do that.
It is a reality check. Batna and whatnot. Yeah,
it is a reality check, and whichever the type of dispute, you always can do a reality check with the parties, whichever negotiations are. Whether it's sorry. Yes, go ahead.
How do they bridge? Now, I like that. Bridging the gap or the dispute. How do people who are managing a project, who have already invested millions into it, and now something is broken, they need to fix it. They need to talk to, as you mentioned, contractors, subcontractors, suppliers, this and that. But there is a real risk that the strategy they envisaged at the beginning is not going to work. How do you deal with that?
Well, I usually propose we take a step back. Let's take a step back and try to just, I don't know, gather our thoughts. Let's remember why we sat here in the first place, why we started doing this in the first place. Let's not try to find who's guilty, who made a mistake, what the mistake is, and just revenge something on them, put all of our anger on them. But let's take a step back. Let's take a breath. Let's have a drink. Let's just calm ourselves down, and then we will start talking. Because in reality, law can provide solutions, yes, but in reality, people want workable solutions, and that's different. They need a solution now. They cannot go through legal procedures. They don't have the time, don't have the energy, especially when they're angry and you're like, go to court. That's usually the pace. So they need a workable solution, and that's the difference when we take a break and start.
Let me stop you there and ask you about the ultimate red flag. Have we reached the point where you would like to talk about that? Because in preparation for our discussion, we spoke about that red flag, and do you want to tell me about that? Because now I feel that we have reached the point in which we both said that's an ultimate no, but yeah, tell us.
Well, last year at the International Academy of Mediators conference in Australia, there was an interview played for the participants. I was among them, by William Ury. John Sturrock interviewed him, and William Ury said that the biggest lesson from getting to yes is be curious. When people stop being, and he's right, when people stop being curious, that's when the red flags start to appear, and you can see them. After you look back, what happened? You saw them, but you ignored them because you were in your own way to stop and pause and discuss. Disagreement is not a problem. Strong positions are not a problem. Negotiations can move forward, even though when we have different interests, when we are coming from different cultures, and we're coming from different settings. I've had negotiations with people coming from different legal systems, continents, and religions, and everything. They were a complete, not opposite, but there wasn't a bigger sort of point where we can relate, and we are like, yeah, we are part of this same group. No, so we disagreed a lot. We fought. They were shouting, we were shouting, everybody was shouting at some point. Then at some point, everybody was like, this is tiring. Yeah.
Was that a big red flag?
But yeah, we stopped being curious. Then we started talking to each other about our everyday lives, and we took a pause and started being curious about each other. And we found that we have a lot in common. Well, I want to say that that's the basics of law, being human. Law teaches us about human dynamics, but mediation builds upon it. Law brings processes, brings procedures, brings a sort of part where they are strict. But it's becoming even more strict and procedural and forcing people. The legal systems here are forcing people to go to court, and we are forgetting the entire point, and that we are human, that we need to be human. So, and when I went into mediation, I was like, yes. I'm more at home. I can use my legal brain to because I cannot evade my years of training and education, but I can use it all to manage people's expectations. I can move them into a place where they need to feel they feel safe and happy and content, and that's it. And
that feels good.
My future lies exactly there. I need to be in these kinds of situations. I like it. So I'm going into infrastructure projects. I'm going into international negotiations. I like, and that is one of my biggest dreams ever since I was a kid. I want to learn about people from other countries, and I want to learn and have friends in other countries, learn about other countries and have friends there. And right now I consider myself very lucky. I have friends in Europe, in Asia, in Australia, in US, even in Africa. I have friends everywhere, and I know that in the region, of course, but I know that I can go almost everywhere on the planet and I know someone there to relax and drink coffee. And that's what mediation is about. Building bridges and building relationships. So I'm going to live as a mediator. I'm going to and be a mediator.
You
everywhere.
are a mediator.
Thank you. And
well and truly.
I'm going to continue working on and expanding. I'm currently into infrastructure and energy, but I still use all my skills from defense, from aviation, and I'm going back there when necessary. But this is something that I found myself being most valuable, managing conflicts, the entire systems on infrastructure projects. It's big, and the absolutely best thing about it, I'm always outdoors. I'm not stuck to an office.
Yeah, walking the beautiful hills of Serbia and the West Balkan.
And the plains.
And the plains.
Yeah, and there's a difference between the plains and the plains and in the hills in people. It's a very different kind of life. So fortunately for me, my mother was from the hillside of Serbia and my father is from the plains. So I'm a mix and I fit in everywhere. And I just take what part of me is necessary to be in a conversation. But I'm outdoors. I stand somewhere on the field. I stand somewhere in the forest, on a mountain, on a hill with the most beautiful view. And I'm enjoying it.
And people are beautiful too.
Yeah, I've seen them laughing, seen them crying, seen them be very happy. I've seen them feeling grateful for being seen. And that's the part where I feel the most that I gave my best. They have been seen, they have been heard. Somebody knows
listen to them,
that what they need, and then I try to work something out. I try to find a solution, and I'm always, I don't know, we're not supposed to be friends, but let's shake hands and get out, leave, and this happened and we're done.
I think slowly we are done as well for today. Nikola, thank you so much for your time and for your thoughts and for sharing this in English, which is not your mother tongue. And it was beautiful.
Thank you.
Maybe next time we speak in Serbian.
If we're speaking in Serbian, then we are talking in a restaurant by Serbian way.
Okay. Good. Why not? Dunja or Kruška.
Yeah.
Okay. Dear listeners, dear viewers, this was Gospodin Mr. Nikola Tomić from Serbia, a mediator, expert in commercial mediation. I hope you enjoyed it. We will bring another interview soon to you with another exceptional mediator. My name is Vesna Cvjetićanin. Thank you for being with me on Mediation Today.